Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about this thing. This is called a Cricut Joy. It is a small vinyl cutter. It is designed for arts and crafts. A lot of people use them for things like Etsy stores and making things they're going to sell on the internet. And I'm going to talk about how I use it in my garage. First off, the unit itself is about $100, so you should kind of know that at the beginning. And vinyl or supplies for it, you know, for under $150, you can have quite a bit of stuff and be able to kind of get yourself going and use it in your garage. And it's really great for doing organization, for doing labeling, for you know, notating what is inside cabinets, what is inside drawers, and making your garage look really organized and dialed in. So you can see behind me here, this one says supplies. It has general supplies in it like garbage bags and vacuum bags and rags and different things like that. There's another cabinet behind me that I've labeled. This one is all of my interior products. And I actually made this Improved Garage logo on there as well. This is only capable of doing about 4.5 inches wide. So that's about as big as you're going to get. You can see my hand next to it, just kind of get an idea. This is a 34-inch sonic cabinet. So you can kind of get an idea of how big that is. Some other things I've done with it, like these labels on the individual drawers, you know, sockets, extensions, ratchets, screwdrivers, whatever. I created all of those labels on the Cricut as well. And also I was able to make my own custom bottle logos. So these are press-all bottles, but realistically you can make a logo for any bottle. So you can see this is what a logo looks like when it's not installed, or a label. This is one style that I did where it's got the whole Improved Garage logo at the bottom there. And then here's another one that I did where it's just the IG at the top. And that's actually what I ended up going with on all of my bottles. So if you look at my wall of bottles over here, you can see that many of them are labeled. So I'm going to show you how this works and how to operate it. So first off, there is a free software that you download from their website. It's called Cricut Design Space. So I have it here on my Mac. You can run it on a Windows computer. You can also run it right from an iPhone, so you don't actually have to have a computer connected to it. You have the ability to create projects and save those projects. So you'll see that, like, I have some saved projects here, like here are my bottles, you know, and I was cutting 2 at a time because it's 4 inches wide and I wanted to, you know, make the best use of my vinyl. So this actually uses all 4.5 inches of width that you have. All right, so here on my screen, you can see these are actually the ones that I used for my sonic cabinets that are over there. Nano pads, 3-inch pads, 5-inch cutting and finishing pads, etc. So we can just, basically, we can just type whatever we want to do. So let's say I'm going to label a drawer that is for plastic pry tools or panel removal tools. So you can see the dimensions here. This is actually a little over 1 inch tall and it's about 9 inches wide. So I can either cut that in this direction or I can flip it into lines and make that fit into multiple rows. So sometimes I'll do like panel removal tools like that, and then it can print this way, or I can do it the opposite direction. So let's say we're going to make this panel removal tools, diagnostic, OBD, and brake. So those are 3 drawers that I need to label. So what we do is we type it out on here, we look at our dimensions and make sure it's the right font and size and everything that we want. And once you make a drawer and kind of get it set up, then you can just kind of keep typing over the top of it and making the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to go up here and choose my unit. So I'm using a Joy, Cricut Joy, that's this unit. They make a bigger one called the Explorer and something else, the Maker, but this is the cheapest unit and it works really well. We're going to click Make It. It's going to pop up here on the screen and it's going to say, are you using smart materials, which is what this is. You see it says Cricut on the back of it, or are you not? So I'm going to choose smart materials, confirm. And you can see the layout here on the screen, how it's going to appear. So I need 10 inches of vinyl. And then we're going to click continue. And then it's going to connect to my Joy via Bluetooth. So there's no actual cable that goes between this and the unit. I'm going to choose that I have Smart Vinyl Permanent, which is what this is. And it's going to say, please load this in. So I stick it in here. It's going to check my length. And then, and I like to just let this kind of go over the edge there like that. And then we can increase or decrease the pressure. I normally just use the default, and then we're going to click go, and it's going to actually cut this. All right, so we're done. Took about 2.5 minutes. So now I'm going to show you how to weed this, which is basically just removing all of the extra material from here. Obviously I could have gone 4 wide, I just didn't need another drawer. You can buy this vinyl. They sell, like Cricut sells their own vinyl, but they actually sell it in larger rolls. And then there are a couple companies on Amazon that sell it as well that aren't Cricut branded, but those work well. And I'll put a link in my description to some of the ones that I've used successfully. So for tools, you'll see that I have like this white hard card. This is an Avery hard card. It's for vinyl signs. And then I also have like an Olfa or snap blade. This is an Olfa branded. And then these are Cricut tools, so I'll kind of show you these as well. I don't use these very often, but you know, from working at a sign shop, I really just use this all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by picking up the corner here of the gray. And we're going to pull this back at an angle, and we're just going to be careful, because basically what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are not picking up anything that we don't want to, like dots from eyes or, you know, whatever, things that should be left behind because they're part of the sticker. Some letters like S is a little harder because there's it kind of goes in both directions, but you just kind of work it up and down and left and right, and you'll see pieces pop up, and you can use your knife to help if you need. But as you can see, that came pretty clean. So I'm just gonna set that here. So now we're going to take our knife. You could also use like an X-Acto, which is, or this is an Olfa as well, but you can use an X-Acto, or they sell this like pick thing. So this is an actual tool from Cricut that you can buy right next to the Cricut, and this has like different tips for it. There's a hook and a little pin thing, and you know, some different tools like that. So basically what you want to do is you want to just kind of grab the edge and just kind of stick it there, and we're just going to go through and we're going to weed all of our letters. They make this just like a cup that goes on your wrist that you can kind of drop them in as well, but I always just kind of hold one of these in my hand, and then I just kind of do one of those. You can also stick them to your fingers, whatever's easiest for you. All right, so now we're done with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mask this. So this is a roll of masking transfer tape. Cricut makes this as well. This is an aftermarket one that I got from Amazon, and it works fairly well. It's less expensive than the Cricut one. And basically what we want to do there is we want to just kind of apply this, and we're going to over apply, and then we're going to cut it off like that. And this mat that I'm working on, this is a Fisker's mat. It's like an 18 by 12. I really like these. They work well. It's nice to have. So basically, we're just going to push this down, push out all the bubbles. This doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to be too over the top with it. And then what you want to do is take a knife like this, and you just kind of want to cut this into strips or pieces that are workable. So I normally do like a cut here, like that, throw that away, and then we'll just kind of go through like that. Watch for our G there, which drops below. And then we'll throw this away. All right, so there we are. We can just kind of go over this again, make sure it's good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually stick this on a drawer. So to start off, I like to take this. You should make sure your drawer is clean first, the place where you're going to stick it. So just wipe it off with a rag. You don't want to use, you want to use a cleaner that doesn't leave residue behind, like alcohol is a good one. So we're going to just kind of peel this off, and you might find that you need a little hook to help with the I found that the Cricut vinyl sticks to the backing a lot better than it sticks to the masking. Some of the aftermarket vinyls actually stick to the masking better, and they come off the backing a little bit easier, but you know, it's just one of those things. If you're patient, you can kind of work with just about anything. Some letters are harder than others. So there you can see we have our panel removal tools sticker. So really when you're doing this, you want to be careful of like eyes, like the letter I, the dot. Those are the kind of things that like, it'll be in the garbage can and you won't realize it until after it's done and you'll have to make a new one. So now we're going to stick it to our drawer. Make sure the surface is clean. Make sure there's no residue on it. If you use a cleaner like Tarex, it's going to leave like an oily residue behind. You want to use something like CarPro Eraser or isopropyl alcohol or something along those lines. So now what we want to do is install this, and really I've just been lining them all up. There's like a line at the bottom here because it's got this kind of bend to it. So I just kind of do like that, and then they all sit flat like that. And then we push this in like that. And then we can peel this masking off. And again, just be careful you don't rip some letters. It doesn't take much. You can grab like the top of an S or something like that, or the bottom of an E, and it'll tear the letter in half. But there we are. So now it says panel removal tools. Just like that. That is installed. It's readable. And we can stick the drawer back in. And there we go. So folks, that's really it. Like I mentioned, the unit itself is about $100. The vinyl, it's expensive if you buy it at Staples or Walmart. If you buy from aftermarket companies on Amazon, it's cheaper. I'll post a couple links to some ones that I've used in the past. They work well. Really, you just need anything that's compatible with Cricut because it has to have that grid on the back of it. That's how the unit actually measures the distances. But that's really it. This is a Cricut tool set. It works fairly well. You can get by with something like this knife. These mats last a long time. I've had this one for about 2 years, and I haven't cut through it anywhere, but there are a ton of cuts on it, and I've gone through and labeled pretty much this whole garage on this one mat. So I would say, you know, easily for 150, maybe 200 bucks, you could do an entire garage. Every single drawer, every single shelf, every single cabinet, whatever you want to do. Here's something I didn't show this at the beginning, But if you look, I actually labeled all of my shelves. So these are, you know, here's what goes where. So there's waterless car wash, drying towels, medium, wheel towels, multi-purpose, interior, leather, polish, whatever, drying large towels. So, you know, you can kind of label just about anything with them. And the bottles, like I mentioned. One thing that is kind of cool is it does seem to be fairly chemical resistant. So like CarPro Tarex leaches through the bottle, and a lot of like the foil backed labels will actually come off of the bottle, but these hold up really well. So I'm not going to say it's perfect. Like my Tarex still has a couple bubbles in it that form from time to time and stuff, but I'm still on my original label after almost a year. So that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, I'll put some links in the description. Please subscribe if you like this and want to see more things like it. Please feel free to leave some comments, questions, whatever you need. I'd be happy to share some of these with you. If you want, shoot me an email, jeff@improvedgarage.com. It's improved-garage, and I can send you the files for it. But yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching and have a great day.